Hello everyone and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls Remastered PvP and another weapon showcase. Today we are taking a look at the Balder Side Sword, the Baller Swag Sword as some individuals would choose to call it. And this is a weapon that is extremely popular, one that we haven't seen very much of just yet in the remaster though, however, and that's a little sad in my opinion, because this is a phenomenal weapon in a lot of ways. It's got a good moveset, it's got a very nice reach with its R2s, it's got a lot of damage potential, and it's not overly common at the moment, which is odd. That said, let's get started with the basics and we'll move into the pros and cons shortly. So, getting started, the Balder Side Sword requires 10 strength and 14 dexterity in order to wield. At plus 5 it has a physical base damage of 120, an E-scaling in strength and a B-scaling in dexterity. At plus 10, its scalings have not changed, but its base damage has gone up to 160, and at plus 15, its base damage is 200, it has an E-scaling in strength and an A-scaling in dexterity. So overall, more of a dexterity weapon, not a bad thing. Really great damage on this, so that's always good. The nice thing with it is that you've got really fast attacks on both your R1s and your R2s. The R2s have an extremely long reach, and they're very powerful. And with that great scaling, with the decent base damage for a longsword, for a straight sword class weapon, and the fact that those R2s actually work with a Leo ring because they are thrusting attacks, and with those thrusts, if you time it well and get a counter hit, that extra 68% damage that they'll do, it's not unlikely that you'll be hitting well over 600 with those R2s, provided you have good timing. And that's a great thing with this weapon. That's easily the biggest pro. Its capabilities with a Leo ring are phenomenal. You're able to outrange a lot of your opponent's attacks. You're able to outspace them because of it very easily. It's something I'll be doing on this video very frequently. And the fact of the matter is, 600 damage hits are really easy to get with this weapon. And for a weapon that has such fast attacks, that has such a good moveset, and such good reach, that's a phenomenal thing. It really truly is. This is a weapon that in the original version of the game you would see buffed very frequently with things like Dark Moon Blade, Sunlight Blade, but especially Crystal Magic Weapon. That's probably the most common way that you would see this weapon used, with a Crystal Magic Weapon buff on and the person going for counter hits, because when you combine those two things, this weapon is phenomenal. Like the hand axe, this is what I would also refer to as a buff carrier, and I explained it back in the hand axe video, but if you missed it, the general gist of it is that a buff carrier, a weapon that is a buff carrier, will accentuate the capabilities of a buff. Typically, buff carrier weapons are ones that are fast, break poise easily, and can stun people easily because of it. They usually have decent damage on their own, but are able to accentuate the capabilities of that buff. So, because this weapon has such a great moveset, because it is so fast, because it's got a phenomenal amount of reach, and works so well with the Leo ring already, and it's already capable of hitting over 600 damage in a single R2, once you apply a buff onto it, it's not unlikely that you would be hitting well in excess of 800 or even 900 damage with a well-timed R2 for a counter hit. The trouble is, a lot of people will spam their R2s, and it is very easily parried. That is probably one of the biggest cons of the weapon. It can be parried and shut down very easily. All someone has to do is block or time their attacks well in a manner that you cannot counterattack, or just parry if you get a little R2 happy or even R1 happy, or roll attack happy, for lack of a better way of saying it. A lot of people use this weapon in a way that leads to spam, but that's not how this weapon excels. This weapon excels with well-timed, calculated attacks that are meant to be counter hits. And unfortunately, most people don't use this weapon that way and then think it's a bad weapon because of that fact. When in reality, the weapon is phenomenal, they're just not quite using it to its fullest potential. So, it is what it is. That said, that is basically all I've got for this video. There is this fight right here that's about to start up, and then one following little clip that I've thrown in at the end. So thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. This weapon showcase was voted for in the same poll as the one for the Man-serpent greatsword. They actually won with a tie, so I decided to do both of them. I couldn't make up my mind between them, and I didn't feel right just calling one of them and not doing the other. That said, the next showcase poll is live on the Discord, so if you feel like stopping by, feel free to do so. If not, then enjoy the showcase when it pops on YouTube. And that's all I've got, so thank you all for stopping by. Again, if I said it already, hope you have enjoyed this one, and I will see you all next time.